It is the new Middle East where you have foreign ministers coming to the Negev to meet the Israeli foreign minister together with the American foreign secretary, sit together and talk about the future of the region, about cooperation, whether it's energy, whether it's security, whether it's water, whether it's tourism. It is the new Middle East.
Over the last several years, I've had the honor of building a friendship with Israel's first ever ambassador to the Kingdom of Bahrain. Eitan Na'eh is a thoughtful and highly experienced diplomat who previously served as Israel's first ever ambassador to the United Arab Emirates. Prior to that, he served as a diplomat in two other sensitive posts, Turkey and Azerbaijan. Let's take a look at this interview. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I think of you as the startup ambassador of the startup nation. You have a unique career of starting two Israeli embassies that never existed. Most people thought never could exist. One in the United Arab Emirates after the creation of the Abraham Accords, and now here in Bahrain. How did you get to the position of being the startup ambassador?
I wanted it. As soon as I saw the ceremony in the White House lawn, I said, I want to be there. I want to be where things happen. And I was lucky enough for my request to be sent to the region. Was accepted by the high-ups in the Foreign Office. I didn't start from zero, but very close to that. But there was a lot of work that was done here before I came. But we are building it, and we are building everything almost. Because yes, there were relationships, but not the kind of relationships that we have now. I often pinch myself, and I find myself sitting and talking to the foreign minister, or when I gave my credentials, of course, to His Majesty the King, or speaking to really other high levels here, or going to a home for an iftar, or for dinner, or being invited to a party or to a reception. It's still a dream come true.
Not everybody in this region is happy that Arabs and Jews, Israelis and Arabs are making peace. Who are the enemies of peace?
We saw those enemies of peace in the 90s when we embarked upon the Oslo Accord and Oslo process. It's the very same people. It's Hamas in Gaza. It's the Hamas supporters in the West Bank, even in Jerusalem. This is an effort, an ongoing effort, and not new, to derail the peace process and to really derail the Abraham Accords. Those people get up in the morning and they're not happy with what they see. They're not happy with Israel-Bahrain relationships. They're not happy with Israel-UAE relationships. They're not happy with the economic deals, with the visits, with all the dozens of agreements we signed.
At least 40 so far, and many
today.
more to come. Yeah. What about Iran? We are sitting in Manama, the capital of Bahrain. Iran is just over the Gulf. How do you see Iran from this vantage point being so close? And how do the Bahrainis see it?
I prefer to use the term the Iranian regime.
Okay.
Because I don't believe that the Iranians themselves are supporting that regime. The Iranian regime doesn't like what it sees, and they use threatening language. No, they're not happy. They weren't happy in the 90s. They're not happy now. They're not happy to see peace.
Yeah. And they've tried to undermine Bahrain. Bahrain has a lot of Shia Muslims, and there have certainly been efforts in the past to assassinate the king, capture the crown prince, create insurrections. So why would Bahrain, a country of 1.5 million people, small, so close to Iran, why would they take this enormous risk to be one of the first, in this case, the second Abraham Accords signatories? It's a huge risk, isn't it?
First of all, it's a courageous step taken by the leadership here. I think, at least what I've been told here, is because that was the right thing to do. Because there was something incomplete in the Middle East, and that was that there were no relations with Israel. And I think that relations with Israel can bring good to both nations, both peoples, both countries.
So talk to me about His Majesty the King. How do you see him?
From my point of view, it's a very courageous leader who took a very courageous decision in spite of some opposition, but seeing that this is the right thing to do, and taking his people and his country to have full diplomatic relationship with Israel. He told me once that he promised it to Israel's President Peres, that he'll do it in full. And I think that he kept the promise, more than kept his promise. And I think, therefore, that I'm twice blessed, not just to be the first ambassador here, but to meet all these people, to meet all this courageous leadership, and to to do what I came here to do.
Shimon Peres, you mentioned, wrote a book, was widely praised by some, widely mocked by others, The New Middle East. He had this image that couldn't we do business with each other? Couldn't we do tourism? Couldn't we do trade? Couldn't we have educational exchanges? That all seemed ridiculous to many, not all, in the 90s when he spoke of it. And he didn't live to see all the fruit of it. But you're getting to be part of a really interesting new architecture that a lot of people thought was foolish. People were smoking crack if they thought there'd be an ambassador sitting in Bahrain and openly building a relationship with.
I'd certainly think so. If you tell me, 4 years ago that this is where I'll find myself. But you're right. Shimon Peres spoke about the new Middle East, maybe ahead of his time, but we are, and then I often tell myself, and we often tell ourselves, this is the new Middle East. This is the new Middle East where an Israeli trade delegation comes here to do business or to open offices here. It is the new Middle East when you have two ambassadors, one from Bahrain, one from the UAE, and of course Morocco. In Israel. It is the new Middle East where you have foreign ministers coming to the Negev to meet the Israeli foreign minister together with the American foreign secretary, sit together and talk about the future of the region, about cooperation, whether it's energy, whether it's security, whether it's water, whether it's tourism. It is the new Middle East.
Christians all over the world really take seriously the command, really, of King David, Psalm 122, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. We've been praying for a long time, and it felt like after Egypt and after Jordan in 1994, wow, we were in the desert. Nobody, Lord, are you even hearing our prayers? And of course, Jews have been praying for this. Why is this night different from all other nights, to cite our line from Passover?
It's early days. So the new Middle East, the relationships, both with Bahrain and with the UAE and Morocco, but also Egypt and Jordan, are really in their infancy. There are those who are the enemies of this process, who try, as we speak, to derail the process. And I think that our viewers, if you ask me what I would like them to do is, first of all, as you said, to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, to pray for the peace of the region, to pray for the continued wisdom of the leadership, and to pray for this process to continue to grow. It's an open club. And those who can, and those who want, to come and visit, like yourself and the delegation that you brought here, in order to see in their own eyes what has happened, why is this night or year is different than any other year, and to bless us, to bless the process, and to help it. If you're a businessman or woman, if you have a business here, come to visit Israel, come to visit Bahrain, ask yourselves, what can you do in terms of business in order to help bring the two people together and to make this process sustainable.
And Christian media, All Israel News, All Arab News, TBN, other Christian and conservative and media outlets. What role do you see that we can play? Because it seems like there's an information war. There's a war of ideas, not just of bullets and bombs.
Thank you for mentioning it. Peacemaking is not just by diplomats. Peacemaking is also by public opinions, and media shapes public opinion. Media can disseminate fake news, false news, and media can of course disseminate the truth of what happened as we speak in Jerusalem, the truth about the nature of this process, and the good that we hope that it will bring to the region, and to attack or to be a counter. Or to counter the fake news that other media outlets in our region try to disseminate, because we know what they try to do. we know that they try to derail the peace process.
Well,
The
Jesus,
truth uncut.
Jesus, maybe the most famous Israeli ever, said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." Ambassador, it's an honor to have gotten to know you first in the United Arab Emirates, then to be with you here in Manama, Bahrain. I appreciate it very much. B'chatzlacha, much success, and may God bless you. We're praying for you and your family.
Thank you all, and thank you delegation, and thank you viewers for praying for us and our success. Really, truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The big question everyone here in Jerusalem and certainly in Washington are asking is, who will be the next Arab country to make peace with Israel, and will it be the Saudis? It's an important question, and one that I asked the ambassador about off camera, and his answer was spot on. He said that the best way to persuade other countries to join the Abraham Accords is to make sure that those who have already joined are thriving, and that Israelis, Bahrainis, Emiratis, and Moroccans can see that their lives have gotten better because of making peace with each other. In an upcoming show, we'll look at the tangible progress that's been made between Israel and its Abraham Accords partners. But as we close tonight, I simply want to thank Bahrain's King Hamad for having the wisdom and the courage to lead, to fully embrace Israel as a welcome member of this region, and for being such a solid and faithful ally of the United States. May his tribe increase.